Open up the door, can you open up the door? Open up the door, can't open anymore. I promise I'm actually a good singer for the most part. Hey friends, it is Jenna, what is up, and welcome back to the Board Game Garden, and welcome to another video in my Top 100 Games of All Time series, the cream of the crop. We are on to numbers 90 to 81, so this is the second of 10, which, oh boy, but we have a lot of good games in this like top 10 here. One of them I don't actually own, and don't even get me started with it because I'm really sad about it, and I'm hoping eventually I'll get a copy. But anyways, without further ado, if you guys want to see the 10 games, the numbers 90 to 81 in my top games of all time, then just keep on watching. Give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoy. Also hit the subscribe button down below if you've yet to do so. We'd love to have you here in the garden. And without further ado, let's get into it. Shall we? Shall we? All right, so starting off with number 90. This is a game that is new to my list. It is a new game that I started playing this year, and I am absolutely obsessed with this game. And some people might say it's a little bit weird to have this game in my top 100, but I don't know. It makes my brain feel really good. So that game is Tangram City. So this is a game by Capstone Games. This was sent to me by Capstone, so a huge thank you to them. And this is the newest like tile laying game from Uwe Rosenberg. And how many of the Uwe Rosenberg tile laying games have I played? I haven't played Cottage Garden. I haven't played Spring Meadow. I have played Indian Summer. Didn't love that one. I actually sold that one. And then I've played Patchwork, but I've only played it on BGA. But this one right here, like I said, this game makes my brain just feel so good. I love playing this one solo. I've been obsessed with it recently. It's a very simplistic tile laying game. It actually implements the like Tangram tiles, which if you guys are familiar with those, it's like the triangle puzzles that we did as kids to like make the different like animal shapes and to try to make a square out of all of these different like sized triangles. So I really love the difference between like usually you do like polyomino tiles in a board game, but this one kind of brings in those like triangular shapes and like the diagonal shapes, and it just makes it so much fun and just slightly different from your regular polyomino tile laying games. So yeah, I really enjoyed this one. I love there's a like scoring mechanism at the end of each round where you are going to be scoring your biggest like rectangular or like square shape that you've created out of these tangram shapes, and then you're also trying to balance the city spaces and green spaces in order to gain as many victory points at the end of the game as possible. You're also flipping over cards, which is really fun. In the solo game, you're just putting out 4 cards and flipping one at a time, whereas in the multiplayer game, depending on player count, you're getting a card. And so each player has information that's going to be coming up in the future of what tile is going to be placed, but you're kind of going in order. So everyone knows a different piece of information, which I think is really, really cool. So yeah, I love Tangram City. I don't know if this is just one that I have a little bit of recency bias with, if it's going to stay in the top 100. But like I said, I've just been obsessed with it recently. So that is why it is in my top 100 at number 90. So that is Tangram City. All right, so moving on to number 89. This is the smallest box so far, I think. I don't think there was really any small games last time. I guess Far Away was a little bit small, and Can Fire Delph, but this is definitely the smallest one so far. but that is Scout. So Scout is a ladder climbing game. It is a card game, and this one got a lot of hype. It definitely hasn't been getting as much hype recently. I think other card games have come out and a lot of people have, you know, gotten off the recency hype of Scout, but I still think it is an absolutely fantastic game. We have played this game so many times and it is just so much fun every time we play it. We've played it with Francis' family, my family, friends, all the things. It is a fantastic game where basically you are always needing to play a higher card than the person in front of you, and those cards, they can either be in pairs or sets of the same numbered cards. And the interesting thing about this one is that you cannot rearrange your hand. So it's this very cool thought process of having to figure out how to get cards out of your hand so that other cards come together and then you can play those. Like I said, in the chronological sets as well as chronological runs, that's the word, as well as the same numbered sets. But yeah, absolutely love Scout. It is themed to be like a circus act scouting game. It's literally just cards, but I absolutely love Scout. That is why it is my number 89. Moving on to number 88. I never really thought I would have a chess-like game in my top 100 because I have always had such a hard time with chess and just with games where it's very if I do this, then the other player can do that, and you kind of have to look forward at the possible moves that you're getting yourself into. I've just never been good at that. I've tried to learn chess before. It's really, really hard, and I just cannot seem to see what's gonna happen if I do a particular move. So yes, I never thought that I would have a game like this, but this game is so much fun. I love the theme. I love the gameplay. It does play 1 to 4. You can play it solo, which I love playing this game solo. It's such a fun puzzle. But then it's also very fun 2-player, and I've also played it up to 4 players because I did make content on this on the publisher's channel. Can you guys tell what it is? Not sure. But that game is Mythic Mischief. So this is, there's 2 different boxes, which, coffee, it's time for you to move out of the way. Thank you for your time. But Mythic Mischief is a 1 to 4 player abstract game. I did go to the Ivy Games headquarters and I did some filming for this one and I had so much fun with that, and it's really where I fell in love with Mythic Mischief. I did some stuff for the Volume 2 campaign, but there is Volume 1 as well. I also do have some more factions for Volume 1. There's 3 additional factions that you can purchase separately, but I just adore this game. It, like I said, is so much fun. It's this cool puzzle of trying to get your opponent's characters. So each player is going to be playing a different faction, and the theme of it is, in this one, you're in a magical school in a library, and you're trying to get the other player's characters caught by the Tome Keeper. So he's walking around, and if you can get the other player's characters in the Tome Keeper's path and he runs into them, then they get pushed off the board and you get victory points. And there's different ways for you to do that, and each of the different factions have different abilities that you can perform. You can move, you can swap things, you can do a bunch of crazy things. There's bookshelves that you can move so that you can change the route of the Tome Keeper. Oh, it is so much fun. I need to play this one again. It's been a little bit since I've played it. But there's also this one right here. I almost lost my voice there. This one here is Volume 2, and this is a garden, and instead of a Tome Keeper, it is a hedge keeper? Groundskeeper. There we go. It is the groundskeeper, and it pretty much works the same, but it is introducing some different factions as well, and it's just so much fun, and I love it, and that is why it is my number 88. That is Mythic Mischief. And if you're wondering what my favorite factions are in each of these, I think my favorite faction in Mythic Mischief Volume 1 is actually one of the expansion characters, and that is are the witches in here? No, I think the witches are in the like expansion pack. But yeah, the witches I absolutely love. And then as for volume 2, I loved the fairies, and I also loved the gnomes. Those are my 2 favorite in volume 2. Moving on to number 87. This is another deduction game. You guys will notice there's quite a few deduction games throughout my top 100 because I just absolutely love deduction games. But this is a deduction game that I believe this was the first game that I ever backed on Kickstarter, and I am so happy that I did because this is a wonderful game and I have the deluxe edition. But that is Paint the Roses. I love the theme of this one as well. It is Alice in Wonderland themed. Basically, you're getting chased by the Queen of Hearts and you're trying to complete the garden as a team before the Queen of Hearts catches up to you. And it is a deduction game where basically you are placing out these tiles into the garden and you are trying to guess the other players. It is a cooperative deduction game, and you're trying to guess the other players' cards. And each of their cards are going to, there's easy, medium, and hard cards, and there's going to be a color and a shape. The easy ones are just 2 colors. The medium ones are just 2 shapes. I can't exactly remember. And then the hard ones are like a color and a shape. I think it's actually easy is 2 colors, medium is 2 colors or 2 shapes, and then hard is 2 colors, 2 shapes, or a mixture of the 2. I think that's it. But you are trying to guess those, and the player is going to be placing down a tile and then putting their cubes on that tile to tell you how many matches of their card is in that placement that they had. So whatever tiles are adjacent to the one that they placed. And it is just such a fun deduction game. It is very stressful because you are getting chased by the Queen of Hearts, but this is another one that I haven't played in a while and I really want to play it again. Unfortunately, there is no solo mode, but that's okay. This one is just a cooperative deduction game. I don't think you could make this into a solo, but if anyone knows of a solo mode for Paint the Roses, I'd love to know because I do love a good solo deduction game. But anyways, that is Paint the Roses, my number 87. And number 86 is a beautiful game. I love the theme of this game. There needs to be more astronomy. Is it astronomy or astrology? Astrology? Is that like constellations and stuff? I think it's astrology. There needs to be more astrology themed board games. I think maybe I will start trying to think up and design an astrology themed board game because there needs to be more. But the game that I am talking about and my number 86 is Astra. This is from Mind Clash Games, and it's actually from their like Mind Clash Plays series, which is supposed to be easier games that they are releasing. Mind Clash is known for really heavy games, but this one is, you know, a lot easier. And again, just the theme of this one caught my eye. This was another one that I believe I backed on a Kickstarter, and I'm so happy that I did because it is absolutely beautiful. It has a little bit of like area majority, which is interesting that I love it so much, but it's the kind of area majority, and honestly I think I do enjoy area majority. It's more so area control and conflict that I don't prefer in games. But I really enjoy the implementation of area majority in this one, where basically you're drawing on stars on different constellations in your color, and you're using your little star bits in order to do that. That's like your currency. So you'd have to like spend 3 of your star bits to fill in 3 stars on one of the constellation cards. And then once a constellation card is complete, whoever put in the last star on that card gets the card. Whoever has the majority of stars on the card actually gets first choice of a boon, which is at the bottom. There's a bunch of different boons, or they're just basically rewards. The person with the most gets first choice, and then second most, and so on and so forth. And then the person that last put a star gets the card, and the card is going to do a little bit of set collection for that player, as well as each card is going to have some special abilities on it that you can use. I love the set collection part of it as well. Basically, you have secret set collection where on the back of your card, your like player card, you're going to have a little chart that you can keep track of how many of each like element you have, and then that's going to get you victory points at the end of the game. But yeah, this game is just absolutely beautiful. I love all of the like dry erase constellation cards and filling in those stars. It's very fun and I absolutely love it. So that is my number 86. That is Astra. Moving on to number 85. This is a cooperative game, but I've played this one cooperatively. I've played it 2 players with Francis, but this is mainly one that I enjoy playing solo. It is a pretty big game, but it is a themed game that is themed after a video game that I freaking love. And Francis and I have been working on a farm, the 2 of us, in this game recently. I'm sure you know what it is now. But actually we need to get back to our farm at some point. We stopped working on our farm. But the game that I'm talking about in my number 85 is Stardew Valley, the board game. This game is so cute and I absolutely love the video game of Stardew Valley. So when I saw that there was a board game, I got it right away and I'm so happy that I did. I love playing this game solo. I haven't really had a ton of opportunity to play it multiplayer, but I feel like this one would be great to play with your partner. I haven't played it at like I think it goes up to 4 players, but I've really enjoyed it solo. Basically, the board is actually the map of Stardew Valley, and you are going to be moving around and doing different actions at all of the different locations that you know and love from Stardew Valley, and you're trying to actually get and complete the community center. You're trying to complete some grandpa's goals. Fun fact, I've played this probably 5 times solo, and I have not beat it once. I've gotten close. I don't know how close, I can't remember how close Francis and I got to beating this, but I don't think we got super close. I think we had like 1 more card in the community center to finish, or 2 more cards in the community center to finish, and then like 1 more grandpa's goal or something like that. But this game is just so much fun. If you love the video game Stardew Valley, then I definitely recommend checking this one out. Some people don't love the luck in this game. There is a little bit of luck when it comes to the mining, but if you really think about it, there's quite a lot of luck when it comes to the mining in the video game as well, because you do have to like go through and try to find the stairs and stuff like that. But you are working with like a timer. There's like a deck that you have to go through, and each round you're going to be flipping a card, and then once you get to the bottom of that deck you have run out of time. So it's a little bit stressful and it kind of sucks when luck is just not on your side. So anyways, I'm fine with that because I really enjoy luck in board games. I really like the challenge of having to deal with bad luck and trying to overcome it. So yeah, that's why I really enjoy Stardew Valley the board game. It is just wonderful, and that is why it is my number 85. All right, so we're getting into some bigger board games now, and we are getting close to the one that I do not own. But this next one, my number 84, is one that I do own, and this is one that we have been wanting to get to the table again. I really enjoy the theme of this game. I love the gameplay of this game. It's quite unique, but that game is Lacrimosa. So this is from DeVere. DeVere makes some of my favorite games. Actually, there's another DeVere game in this list, but Lacrimosa is a really cool game. It is a like classical music themed game. I believe it's Beethoven. Is it Beethoven? No, it's Mozart. It's Mozart. Yeah, Mozart. But yes, you're playing as, I believe, Mozart has died, and you are playing as one of his like assistants, and you're trying to like take over his work. You're like trying to prove to his widow, his like wife, that you are good enough to take over his work. Anyways, that is the theme of it, and I absolutely love the look of this game. It's very like classy and like Renaissance-y, I guess, but it's absolutely beautiful. And the gameplay of this is super unique. I love the mechanism of you have these cards in your hand. You're always gonna have, everyone has the same cards, but you can purchase more cards. So it's like a deck construction game, but you do have to like get rid of a card when you do purchase a card. So you're always gonna have the same amount of cards, but you're using those cards in a few different ways. You're actually going to be tucking them either in the top of your board or in the bottom of your board. And if you tuck them at the top, you're gonna be taking the action of that card. There's a bunch of different actions. You can like travel on the board. You can put in like a music note on this like area majority part with like the music and stuff at the bottom of the board. You can purchase cards. You can perform as well. There's a bunch of different actions that you can do, and that's what you're going to do with the tucking of the cards at the top. And then you're also going to be tucking a card at the bottom in order to make up what income you're going to get at the end of that round. And the income is going to be 3 different like resources that you're going to need to use in different ways with the actions that you're performing. And it is such a fun game. The like travel action of going around the board is going to give you some objectives. I love a good objective in a game. And again, I'm really excited to play Lacrimosa again because it's been a bit since we played it and we really want to play it with our friends Tom and Asha. So that is my number 4, not number 4, my number 84. That is Lacrimosa. All right, friends, so moving on to number 83. This is unfortunately the one that I do not own, and I could have owned it. I've told you guys this before if you've watched the channel. Recently, I've been very upset about the fact that I said no to this game, and the fact that it's in my top 100, and I said no to it when I was offered it. Just makes me so upset. But that game is Harmonies. Harmonies is actually a new game this year, and this game is so good. I love this game so much, and like I said, I'm very upset that I said no to it, but it's okay. I'm gonna buy a copy at some point. But Harmonies is a very fun puzzle game. A lot of people have said that it has vibes of Cascadia, which it definitely does, but it's definitely a very different game as well. Both of them are dealing with like terrain and animals and this like puzzly kind of thing on a board. But in Harmonies, you're going to be drafting these little circular chips that you're going to be placing onto a board, and you're going to be able to stack the chips, and each of the different colors represents a different terrain type, and you're going to have to do different things with them in order to score in specific ways for the terrain. And then you're also going to be drafting these animal cards that are going to need the chips in certain kind of configurations in order to score for that animal. And you can score for that animal multiple times. It depends on the animal that you draft. But depending on how many times that you can create that certain animal's configuration, you can take off a cube, place it onto that configuration so that you know that you've made it. And then depending on how many of those you can get onto the board, you're going to get victory points for that animal card. So much fun. I love all of the different kind of puzzly pieces to it, and it just makes my brain feel so good. You guys will probably hear me say that multiple times in this series. I just love puzzle games that just make me think and aren't like too brain burny to the point where like I have so much AP and it like is almost frustrating in a way. It's just that good balance of enough puzzliness to make my brain feel good, but not too much where it just becomes like slightly frustrating. So yeah, Harmonies is that very good in between balance, and I absolutely love it, and I cannot wait to get a copy of it eventually. And I will most likely do some like solo live streams of it because I think that would be a really good and fun game to stream. The only thing is that like it's a top down, so you're not gonna be able to see like the layers of the tiles. We'll see if I can like figure out a third camera or something, or maybe the top camera I can put on like an angle. We'll see. But yeah, Harmonies is absolutely amazing. If you have not tried it yet, definitely recommend. But that is my number 83. All right, so moving on to the next game. This is my number 82. This is another DeVere game, and this game is absolutely fantastic. I love this game. DeVere seems to just be making really good games time after time. There's a bunch of games you guys will see in this top 100 that are Devir, but this is one of their more recent releases. I think this one released last year, and this was one of my favorite games last year. It probably would have been my favorite game of last year if the solo was better. I have gone on and on about that, and I know that I probably should try it again and give it a chance. So I will definitely do that very soon. But the White Castle is my number 83. I almost just said it and then didn't show you guys it. But the White Castle from Devir is such a crazy game to me because you only have 9 turns, and it's just this amazing puzzle of trying to get as much done as possible in those 9 turns. It is a dice drafting, dice placement game, which you guys know I love if you've seen my channel before and if you've watched my channel before. You're going to be drafting a die from 3 different bridges. There's going to be 3 different colors, white, black, and red, and you're going to be placing those dice on 2 different spots, and depending on the number, you're going to have to pay some money, possibly. You are also going to, depending on the color of the die, do a specific action, and then you're basically trying to just chain as many things as possible on your turn to get as much as possible in those 9 turns, because that's not a lot. So this is a fantastic game. I love it. You're placing those dice out. You're doing different actions at different spots. You have your farmers, you have your fighters, or like your, I forget what they're called, warriors maybe. And you're also going up the castle as well with some of your workers. And yeah, it is wonderful. I need to play this one solo again. I would love to play it multiplayer again as well. I've also played the Red Cathedral, and that one could possibly make it into my top 100 as well. I really want to play that one solo too, because I really enjoyed that one. Come to think of it, I actually should have put the Red Cathedral in my like 12 games I could see getting into my top 100, because that one was very fun and I really enjoyed that one. So yes, the White Castle is my number 82. I will also mention that there is a new expansion coming out for the White Castle called Matcha, and you can do like tea ceremonies, and there's like the geishas. So I'm really excited for the expansion. I can't wait for that. I don't know, I think maybe they're releasing it at Gen Con or maybe Essen. I'm not 100% sure, but yes, the White Castle is my number 82. All right, and lastly for this list, my number 81. This is a big boy, and I am super happy because I actually just recently got a copy of this. This is a game from Stonemaier Games. A huge thank you to Stonemaier for sending this over, but I will probably be doing a solo live stream of this one very soon. I am so excited to play this one solo because I haven't played it solo yet and I've really wanted to. This is one I have played multiplayer multiple times, and I have just fallen in love with it, and it is just so good. But that game is, oh my goodness, oh, everything's falling. That game is Expeditions. This is in the series, or in the world of Scythe, which I will say that I think this game is probably the reason why Scythe did not make it into my top 100. A little bit of a spoiler there, but Scythe is not in my top 100. It's been a very long time since we've played Scythe, so I think if we started playing Scythe again, maybe it would make its way back into my top 100, but this has definitely kind of scratched that itch of Scythe. It is in the same world. It is a completely different game, I will say, but this one implements some more like tableau building in a way. There's also worker placement and exploration, which I absolutely love. So that's probably why this one has made it up on my list and has passed Scythe for now. But yeah, Expeditions is absolutely fantastic. You have your mech, and you're going to be moving your mech throughout this like hexagon board, and some tiles are flipped face down, and eventually once you get to those tiles, you're going to flip them over, and those are going to give you more worker placement spots. A really fun thing that kind of is similar to Scythe in a way is the fact that you have to move this little piece on your board, and wherever you move it to, that's going to cover up one of the 3 actions that you can perform on your turn, and you perform the other 2. So it's move, play, and activate, I think. I'm not sure if it's called activate, but it's basically like doing the action on the hex that you're on, like a worker placement spot. So whatever one you cover up is the one that you're not performing that turn, then you perform the other 2, and then on your next turn you have to move it and perform the other 2, so on and so forth. So you can only perform 2 of the actions per turn unless you take a rest, and then you're able to perform all 3 of them. And like I said, you are collecting cards. There are different cards that are going to be used for different things. You have quests, you have gear, you also have, I forget what they're called. They're like the meteor cards that you slip into the bottom. There's so many fun things about this game, and like I said, I really enjoy tableau building, so that aspect of it I just absolutely love. So that is why Expeditions is my number 81. Again, I'll probably do a solo live stream of this one because I haven't played it solo yet, and I feel like it would be really fun solo. So that is Expeditions. All right, friends, so that is going to be everything for today's video. This section of my top 100 games of all time series, my number 90 to 81. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, please give this video a big thumbs up. Also hit that subscribe button down below if you've yet to do so. We'd love to have you here in the garden to come along with us as I do this series. I will say that I am trying to stick to a schedule of uploading these until we're finished on Wednesdays and Saturdays. So those are the 2 days that you guys can expect them, and I'm going to try my hardest to continue with that 2 times a week upload schedule for those. I also have some other videos that will be going up in between, but yeah, that'll be fun. Definitely leave down in the comments below your numbers 90 to 81 if you have them. I would love to know that. It's really fun reading those down below, and just let me know your opinions on these games down in the comments. I love chatting to you guys down there. That is everything. I love you guys so, so much. Remember, you are somebody's reason to smile, and I will see you in the next board game video. Bye, friends.